At the beginning of last year, as in January, my Instagram following was at about, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 followers. TikTok was at about 5,000 or 6,000, and YouTube was super low at somewhere less than 1,000. At that time, I was driving to San Jose from Texas to deliver a height adjustable desk because the first one I'd made broke during shipping. I had been vlogging my journey for maybe 4 months by that point, and in that 1 month of January alone, my social media following went crazy, and I think I gained over 100,000 followers. Time passed, and after the entirety of 2023, I am now posting on more platforms. I've gone through tons of learning experiences, and across all platforms combined, I currently have over 230,000 total followers and subscribers. Holy crap, is it really that many? I learned a lot over the past year about working with brands, growing your channel, and what it means to be an influencer. In many ways, I feel no different at all and still know absolutely nothing. But I do have to admit that some things for me have changed. In this video, I'll be going over all of those discoveries with you. Working with brands was perhaps the biggest mystery that I had when I started out on social media. In many ways, I thought of it as this fairy tale of a dream that would be nice but was never gonna happen to me. When my Instagram channel started growing in January, nothing actually happened for the first 3 months. No brand reached out to me, but I also had no idea how to reach out to them. And while we're on the idea on getting started with reaching out, I actually have 3 very important people to shout out about this because they helped me a lot in navigating my first steps here and helping me getting comfortable with everything that was happening. So Josh Hescott, Joni Sprague, and Ashley Quintero. They're all super nice and kind, so I highly recommend checking them out if you haven't done so. The reason why I think nothing happened for the first few months is because I hadn't been in the space for that long, so I honestly might not have earned my stripes yet. The other reason was that I think I was so fresh to the scene that at that point, I never even interacted with other brands yet. I was so focused on other things like how to make content consistently, getting over being camera shy, and consistently getting mad at my partner for convincing me to ever try talking to the camera. If you didn't know already, I was super shy in the beginning and really against the idea of talking to the camera because, as you might have seen in my bloopers, I'm pretty much always fumbling over my words and I was super self-conscious about it. All that is to get to this point. In the very beginning, brands will start to approach you when they start to notice you, but additionally, I do think that you should also be approaching them too when you're ready. If you're super new, start with simply commenting on their posts or tagging them. And eventually, once your following starts to grow and you build some more confidence in yourself, that will easily turn into DMs, emails, and more. When I started to contact brands, it was a very slow start for me because I was so nervous about it and never expected anyone to actually reply or get back to me. As a matter of fact, no one did at first, and this leads me to a personal tip about that. Don't expect anyone to respond. I think this is a really healthy mentality to keep because the people working at those companies are busy and sometimes it takes them a while to get back to you even if you're already working with them. They might be swamped in the middle of something or they might have even lost your message. Just be patient and message at a pace that feels comfortable to you too. Once you actually make contact, if a brand has no idea who you are, you will need something that I had no idea about in the beginning. You will need something called a media kit. And this is essentially a PDF that outlines who you are, your current following on every platform, and any other numbers or stats that are significant. I remember when I was first asked for one, I was like, what? I don't think there's a perfect PDF size or layout to a media kit, but in my opinion, I think you want to treat it as a resume and structure it to be something read quickly and easily. Let them know who you are, your rates if you have them, and if you don't, it's totally fine, along with any other stats or information that you think might be helpful to show what you can do. And this might lead us to a side topic of rates. And my short answer to this is, I don't know. Concerning what I charge as rates, I might be the worst at this and have probably been consistently undercharging. But whether or not you feel what you charge is important is something that is up to you. The more offers and talks I've gone through with brands, the more I've started to kind of figure out what I cared about. For me, the rate isn't the most important thing on my mind because I am trying to focus less on brand deals and more on being financially sustainable on my own, as well as working with brands and people that I believe believe in and trust. Because of that, I've said no to so many offers because I had no idea who they were, what they were able to do, or I knew that I wouldn't be able to support them to the best of my own capacity. So if you find yourself wanting more brand deals, then by all means, go for it. I think that route isn't necessarily the way that I want to go, and I want to stay flexible to work with people who believe in me and I them. That's also why I call this a side topic, because I know it's not going to give you anything concrete, but this is me and my partner's perspective on this, and that's how we're going to keep moving forward. Before you can even talk about rates though, as coached to me by my friends I earlier mentioned, the most important aspect to brands are your numbers. The thing is though, I don't think your numbers should matter to you as a creator, especially when you're starting out. There's that phrase that goes something like, the more you chase the money, the more likely you won't get it. And this is exactly the same in my opinion with this concept of numbers in the social media space. Instead of chasing the numbers, I think you should chase building confidence in yourself. The more confidence you build in yourself, the more personal successes it'll mean that you'll have already compounded. And personal successes can be anything, whether it be consistency, certain types of results, or even the repeated validation of your ideas or processes. The more this compounds and grows, the more comfortable you'll feel yourself become with talking with brands, talking about numbers, and ultimately developing a relationship with the brands you trust. Now, this kind of segues over to the other big concept of growth in social media. How do you grow? And unfortunately, I don't really have a true answer to that either. And philosophically, I don't think there is a true answer. When I first started talking to the camera, I felt weird and awkward. I still feel weird and awkward, but that's besides the point. What's kept me going is my sticking to 3 principles. Be consistent, be authentic, and keep improving. From the moment I met my partner, these were the 3 things he's consistently repeated to me about doing business and being on social media. And when I started talking on camera, I remember fighting back with, if I feel this weird talking, am I really being authentic? Now that more time has passed, I think it is being authentic. I was awkward and shy on camera, and that was just who I was at the time. I never tried to be something I wasn't. I never said anything I didn't believe in, and I've never claimed to know it all. Everything I've ever shared is a combination of the best of what I know, as well as the documentation of my journey, thoughts, and feelings. From time to time, I'll try to do a little skit or something, but those are honestly much harder for me because I'm not an actor. And that leads me to the main point about this whole concept of growth. I believe that there's a natural vibe between who you are and who your audience is. And the better you become at expressing yourself as who you are in situations, in this case social media, the easier and quicker it is for your audience, regardless of the platform, to connect with that. For some people, video is not for them. It might be pictures, it might be through words, or live situations like podcast speeches or presentations. For me, I am horrible in in-person situations, and that's why I've avoided being on podcasts for so long. On video, I can fumble over my words a million times and count on my partner to edit it out. Although, to get back at me, he started making blooper reels of them at the end of these videos, which I've totally come to appreciate as well. And at the end of the day, the 3rd principle of keep improving matters here too. I may not be good at conversation in person, but just like how I worked at becoming more comfortable on camera, I'm also actively working at improving how I handle on-the-spot interactions. All of this though is ultimately held together by the principle of consistency. When you decide to consistently show up, in a way you're putting yourself in a position to create and do with a deadline. And when you put yourself in that kind of situation, in order to get past that feeling of awkwardness, you have to improve. There are probably millions of tactics and strategies as to how and what you post. For example, some people love to post things that cause controversy and get people riled up on the comment section. I, for one, am not that kind of person and really dislike that type of engagement. So for me, because I don't like that type of behavior and interaction, I simply choose not to post those kind of things, and as a result, I'm technically missing out on opportunities. Which comes to the next point about growth. All these strategies and tactics are very fleeting. What works one day might not work the next. What works for one person might not work for you. And you have to decide what works for you, and more specifically, what aligns with who you are, while understanding that what you choose to accept and not to accept ultimately balances out your opportunities for engagement, connection, and so forth. So what does all that mean? In a sentence, the baseline principles that I personally abide by are consistency, authenticity, authenticity and continuously improving, and the strategies and tactics you use are just fleeting, personal preferences that you'll have to experiment with to figure out what you like or do not like to do. Being on social media, regardless of any platform, has a tendency to drive people to judge others and themselves using arbitrary measures of success like the number of followers, likes, and comments they get. What I'm sitting here and ultimately saying is that I think that you shouldn't care about all that. Focus on being consistent, authentic, and continuously improving. And the more you grow and learn, the more opportunities you'll eventually come across to decide for yourself what success is to you. So let's get really real with each other and talk about my year in terms of earnings. Across all my social media platforms throughout the course of 2023, I have maybe earned a total of about $4,000 to $5,000 in both ad revenue and brand deals. In products, I have received somewhere between 3 to 4 times that amount in value, but I obviously cannot buy groceries with products. If I'd taken on every brand deal that had come my way, I think there's a chance I could have easily cleared $20,000 in my first year. But I've been very careful not to take so many brand deals because that number is not my measure of success right now. What I'm aiming for is the refinement of my brand, my style, our process, to connect with the people and brands that resonate with that, to be financially sustainable on my own terms, and most importantly, to build a bunch of stuff that I want to build, to chase my curiosities, as I've said. I, for one, am not making much off of social media as of right now, and it's okay. It's not my main concern, but that's just us. How my partner and I have decided to do things most likely isn't the way a majority of people will want to approach it. But doing things this way is essentially our long-term strategy to dial in on a work and lifestyle that resonates and works for us. One that'll make us happy and proud. And I think that everyone needs to find out through trial and error what it is that vibes with them. You know what I mean? What's up? Man, this was a crazy subject, right? I think this was on my mind because 2023 was honestly the year that I transitioned from taking everything lightheartedly to too seriously, which of course partly led to burnout, to what is now a kind of professional lightheartedness. And everything I said in this video are things that I wish I would have understood when I'd gotten started. Of course, with things revolving around understanding, sometimes you just gotta go through things and experience it for yourself to truly get something. I mean, that's exactly how it was for me. 2024 is gonna be the year that I do even more exploring of ideas, and I don't want to give all of it away just yet because sometimes if you say you'll do something too soon, it can come back and bite your butt. Before we end today's video and hangout session, Dawn has suggested that I do another random tongue twister from the list. So here we go. Oh. Okay, this is from Hansang B. Say out loud 5 times as fast as you can. Toy boats, toy boats, toy boats or Troy boats. Toy boats? Toy boats or Troy boats. Toy boats or Troy boats. Boats. Bruh. Toy boats or Troy boats. Toy boats or Troy boats. Toy boat. Toy boat. I'm not even reading fast. Toy boats or Troy boats. Toy boats or Troy boats. That's my fast speed I can't do. Toy boats or Troy boats. 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 I feel like I'm a broken record. I'm done with it. Also, special shout out today to my newest Patreon members, Larry, Tosh, Carl, and Tina. Thank you all so much for joining our Patreon crew. I hope you're all ready for our live stream pizza party coming up. And if you have a tongue twister you'd like me to try, leave it on the comments below and we will add it to our list to randomly select. Thanks again, have a good night or rest of your day, and peace out. Please turn your phone into no disturb, hunky. What? Oh. I currently have over 230,000. Holy shit, is it really that many? Oh, holy crap. Fairy tale of a dream. Wait, what did I say? I think this is a really healthy mentality to keep own capacity. And that's why I've avoided. For me, I am horrible in in-person situations, and that's why I've been avoiding. I've avoided. That's why I've avoided being on podcasts. For me, I am horrible in person. He started making bloopers reels on. He started making bloopers reels of them at the end of this video. Blooper reels. On video, I can fumble over my words like this. On video, I can fumble over my words a million times and count on my partner. When you do fleeting, opportunities, and not to step. You laugh and continuously. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Gotten started. Damn it. Peace out.